Yeah, that doesn't look too good, and well, I mean, I guess logically that also doesn't look too good, and that's probably the reason why. If you're unfamiliar with what's going on here, in the last couple of episodes I spent a bunch of time building this effectively clay production machine, and as you can see, there's no clay in this output blast chamber here. In fact, it's just stone and rooted dirt. Which, if you're unfamiliar with the process of making clay in Minecraft at the moment, it takes these as kind of raw input resources and converts them, first of all, to mud, and then from mud it gets converted into clay. However, clearly something's gone massively wrong in this process here, as not only do we not have clay, but we don't have mud either. And it's not even entirely rooted dirt, it's mostly stone. But let's kind of go through the reasons why I'm thinking this is going to happen here. So, first of all, back here is where the actual rooted dirt part of this system gets generated. And of course, it's not a 100% chance that you'll get a rooted dirt every time you try to make one. So we have to end up pumping tons of stone into these contraptions in order to make rooted dirt, which will then, stone gets turned into moss, which then can have a tree grown on it, which turns the moss into rooted dirt. That's how these farms work. However, critically, in order for that stone to be turned into moss, there has to be the block above the moss has to be completely clear. And so, in order to make sure that happens, we have to push the logs that grow on top of the moss up. However, of course, there is a limit to how far you push something up, which is 12 blocks, and you can no longer keep pushing stuff up once that happens. And so, there are TNT dupers placed above each of these modules that generate the rooted dirt to get rid of a bunch of the excess logs that are piled up on top. But I'm imagining some sort of lightning strike must have happened here, despite the lightning rod there. Which blew the TNT dupers up, which meant they weren't able to clear the wood that grew here, which meant it just kept growing and growing and growing until each block hit the push limit, meaning that none of the stone that was being pushed through here could get turned into moss, meaning it all just came straight through and started to get mixed into the general block stream over here. Mind you, these other two modules still continue to work completely fine the entire time. Now, as the block stream comes along here, it'll come through this here corner and go past this device here, which converts dirt blocks into mud, or at least dirt type blocks, which rooted dirt is. However, if a non-dirt block goes by this, it will just spit out a water bottle that will then despawn on the ground. And so as the stone kept coming by here, and it wasn't rooted dirt, that just got rid of all of the bottles that were in the system. Meaning that going through this way, it was just entirely stone and the occasional rooted dirt from the other modules. Which of course means that nothing actually reached the output except for that stone and rooted dirt. Now thankfully this was only after I'd filled up the entire storage here, so I don't have a bunch of junk just laying around. But there is something else that annoyingly did happen. Right at the back here, we got some extrusions that should not have been happening back here, although I think this only happened once I got back to my computer after AFKing at this farm overnight, and flew away before this was finished processing blocks. So at least this one was not the farm. Everything else worked perfectly flawlessly, apart from, of course, the fact that that blew up. So I'm probably going to replace that, or actually just put a glass ceiling over all this so that probably can't happen again. Alright, after many failed attempts to rebuild this stuff, because I was missing a couple components, I have fixed the system. I haven't put the roof on, we'll do that in a moment. But yeah, now that everything's going correctly, I currently just have everything bypassing directly to the blast chamber. It's time to start purging this part of the system, so yeah, that'll take a few hours.
Well, anyway, I should probably do this a little bit more formally. So, hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Coolcraft Season 6. Now, in the last episode, as I may have alluded to a little bit ago, yes, I was mostly working on the brick factory here, making sure everything gets functioning properly, and then, of course, building the super smelter here, which was, you know, a critical step, although I haven't really made any bricks yet. But, that is mostly down to the fact that I dumped 6 shulker boxes worth of coal in here, and this is or charcoal in here, and this is as full as it got. Which is not the best. So what we're going to be doing in this episode is going to the Nether to build a farm that okay, let's be real. You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. We're building a wither farm today. I don't know why I'm even trying to suspensefully hide this. So yeah. Now, obviously we have to have a nether fortress with which we can build this farm in. And, well, there is one here, and there's also one just over this hill there. I'd prefer something that isn't around where players are most likely to be in the nether a lot. Oh, dang it. So, that's why I've spent a while here making this ice boat road here, which, goes to another fortress here. It also kind of goes through another fortress here. But it also, happens to pass right by where the end portal is. And, also continue out a tad bit farther now. It does continue under the staircase, but this staircase here goes to the, desert / my mob farm over there. And I couldn't be bothered to break through the staircase at the moment, so instead I just didn't bother going through it. But yes, this ice boat road does continue all the way down here, and as you can see, there's a despawn sphere that I've already pre-set up. And going even further, runs right into another fortress and into a schematic for the farm, which I will be building here shortly. But before I do that, I want to start excavating the base of it a bit, because that's going to be necessary anyway. Okay, so while I was collecting resources for the farm, I found out that I was looking at the wrong schematic for my material list. And the actual one I've been intending on using this entire time requires a lot more wither roses than I have, which means I actually have to go and fix the wither rose farm. Because if you remember from a few episodes back, wither rose farm doesn't work because of game updates that broke it. So now I have to go and fix it. Or completely redesign it as it would be. Alright, so this is what the current farm looks like for wither roses. And you see, the issue is with the wither here. When endermen actually fall down right here next to the wither, they end up attracting its attention and make the wither break the entire farm. So I first of all modified it so the wither would not kill the chicken and whatnot, or actually properly stay attracted. And that has worked, as you see. It has allowed these wither skulls to go here, but it did not fix this. So my solution is going to be to rebuild effectively this platform over here so that the endermen stand right, or endermen fall and end up standing right where these wither skulls are colliding here, or at least that's going to be part of where the endermen stand, so that's what's going to kill them. I'm going to build that now. Alright, so this is what my idea was for over here at the farm. We get the wither, which is trying to shoot this chicken. We're of course redirecting the skulls, and my goal was to just drop the enderman right in the path of the skulls, and then the skulls would kill the enderman, and we get wither roses from that. And that is ultimately what we're still doing, but I came across something very annoying in the process of building this. You see, there's only a guaranteed chance that the skulls will actually hit the enderman and damage them if they hit the bottom block of the enderman's hitbox. Not the upper two, because they'll sometimes just explode in front of the enderman, not actually damaging them. But literally the bottom block. So I had to move the killing chamber for this up a wee bit. Ow, I just got hit by a wither skull. Damn it. Which means that the new platform that I built, which is just barely close enough to the old one, is actually at the wrong height, as the endermen land with like 5 health left. Which means we need to move this new platform that I built up 4 blocks, which would just make it 1 block lower than the old platform. Oh, that's fun. Well, I guess that's what we're doing. It now works, and it works quite well. As you can hear, there's a dropper going, flinging ender pearls into the void right now, because I've decided to put in an item filter and just trash all the ender pearls, because I obviously only want the wither roses out of this thing. But yes, I think it also might produce items a bit faster than a hopper could process them. But yeah, we can come down here where we're storing it, and wow, okay. Already got this many wither roses, and I just popped them top for like maybe like 2 minutes to make sure the farm works, and it does. Thankfully, it hasn't exploded or anything. But yeah, we just void all the ender pearls out that way. There's a dropper that just goes down to the void. Pretty simple. And yeah, besides that, we can go up top here. So yeah, I moved the platform up, so I just basically rebuilt another platform above it, and then it was 3 blocks, a gap, so Enderman could spawn in here, so I put another platform in the middle to prevent the Enderman from spawning, and then, yeah, that's where we're at right now with spawning platform. I believe this works perfectly. Endermen die when the Wither Skull hits them. I think that is a bit faster, though, than the actual rate at which a hopper can process, but I guess it doesn't really matter, as long as we get the Wither Roses in the end, so, yeah. Now that I have finally collected all the materials for real this time, let's get into a time lapse of me building that farm. Alright, I have built the farm, and after the time lapse I got the piglins in and also put in the Wither Roses here, as you can see. And yeah, I was looking back at last season's farm video to see what the process I used was, and I noticed something. The video's been broken up into chapters, which I didn't do. And they're surprisingly accurate auto chapters. It's the only video on my channel that I've actually seen have chapters as well. So that's interesting. But anyhow, now that the farm has been built, it's time to get started on spawn-proofing the entire area in this sphere projection that you can see. So yeah, I'm gonna get doing some of that. Alright, I have spawn-proofed the fortress itself, so we shouldn't be attacked by any more blazes during this process here. But now I'm going to, before I get to any of the actual terrain itself, I'm gonna start taking the leaves, quotes leaves, these are netherworts, the blocks, leaves off of all these trees in the Crimson Forest that happens to be cutting through our area here. Alright, a fair amount of hoe durability later, and all the leaves from the Crimson Forest have been removed, which means we're now at last finally ready to begin construction of the perimeter. Out of buttons, of course, just like the fortress. Now, as far as I can tell, it is the complete... Oh, I guess that ghast came from outside. Okay, well, now it's coming into the perimeter. Okay, never mind. Anyhow. Yeah, so, actually, fun part about this, actually, we'll turn off the light level overlay there. Fun thing here, though, I actually did a good chunk of this over this way on a live stream. So yeah, if you don't want to miss future live streams where I do some grindy work or other work, then subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss all that sort of stuff. Anyhow, now that the perimeter is complete, we can remove the protection around all the piglins and actually turn this farm on. So I'm gonna get doing that. Now that all that's done, the farm is now officially ready to rumble and starting to pump, which means, oh, where did you come from? Okay, clearly I have some sort of issue with my spawn proving around here, because that guy was able to spawn, but once this thing is turned on, it will start pumping, and I'm really worried about this piglin. I actually do not know where he spawned, so I'll have to go look around for that. But yeah, I can now AFK at this farm, and we should be able to collect a fair amount of wither skulls. So yeah, that's great. Alright, so I've been running the farm for a little while at the moment, and that's already a really good amount of wither skulls. Yes. But obviously the most important part about this farm, the main reason why we did it, was the coal, obviously, for the super smelter. Now, we have gotten a fair amount of coal here, but we obviously will want a lot more. And so I'm going to have to AFK at this farm for... Oh, we also got a lot of bones by the looks of things for a while, but there is currently a problem with AFKing here, and that is I will eventually run out of hunger and starve to death. So, obviously, the way we have to mitigate that is we have to get a regen beacon going on here. And in order to do that, I need to, of course, acquire the nether star for the beacon. So, I will do that quickly. Beacons have been installed. Oh, I haven't spawn-proofed them yet. But I have, of course, put them in, which means I can now AFK here overnight without any issues. Alright, nice and spawn-proofed. Now, something that I actually don't think I mentioned earlier is that, yeah, I actually designed this specific farm. It's based off of other designs that I've seen on the internet, but this specific design I made 1 or 2 seasons ago. I actually do not remember. But yeah, so that's where this comes from. And anyhow, I think that with that, that's going to be all that I'm going to do in this episode. So with that, I'm going to have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my game, which hopefully I'll be putting on a patch for soon, which is linked in the description. And I will see you all in the next episode of Coolcraft Season 6. Bye!